So when people are asking me to define, like, for me, and obviously, like, I'm really cautious of like how other people are defining it. So basically what I'm trying to get to the point of, I truly believe that we are, as like human beings, we are already come to earth and life, that we already hold. We don't really need anything, but we are able to, we have everything, and we're so powerful that we can create anything and everything within that's going to be projected on the outside world. But when it comes to the outside world, because then I got the question, is like, so why do we have that things around us? And I believe that we have things around us to make us realize what already we have in there. And we have things around us in order to strengthen us and go through those phases. But it doesn't mean that we need to rely on those things. It's just like when you go up on the stairs, it's you going up on the stairs. It's not the stairs dragging you up, you know, to go up on the stairs, but you have rails to hold on to, right? And then you have some sort of like support system, but you're not going on the stairs and just holding onto the stairs like, I'm gonna fall off, because you know that you're holding up yourself. So I think we are so blessed that when we have ourselves, we know that we have ourselves, all those external things are just like, I don't know, lifting us up a little bit more and strengthening our core, and having a reminder that, yeah, go ahead, we have you, but just step a little bit more into yourself, because you got there, you have everything that you can create in life and then producing externally. And I think it's kind of like exchange some sort of way. Does it make sense what I said?
Yeah, I love that, Bree. There's so many examples out there of like, I've read so many books. One of my favorite ones is it from, I think it's Conversations with God, Neale Walsch. It's one of his books.
I haven't read that one, but I think I heard it. Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, it's a good one. There's also there's a children's book, the story of the little son and the big son. I won't go into the whole thing, but I'll share the link with you. I'll share it to the Facebook group because it's quite nice. And he describes it as I'll paraphrase it. It's like a 15-minute short story for children, and it's beautiful. But for me, it's like what he says in it is effectively we're these perfect, whole, complete spiritual beings, just made of pure light. But we don't have a vehicle with which to experience certain things. So our human experience is these perfected beings coming to take an avatar, which is our human body, to have certain experiences. And this avatar has 7 main features, which is like sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, and thoughts and emotions. And it's the light, the spirit that's within the vehicle, which is having the experience of those 7 senses. But once the spirit leaves the body, it's almost as if the human being is shed, a bit like you just take off your clothing, like take off a shirt and hang it back up, a little bit like that. For me, that was like, it was mind-blowing because it kind of made so much sense. And I looked around and I was like, whoa, I started appreciating my hands a little bit more, and obviously watching films like Avatar and the Disney Pixar Soul, you're thinking, this could be true. It might not be. And I think the issue is, do we believe these things or not? I think it comes down to, these ideas are out there, but how do we know it's true? And that's where I started. I experienced quite a bit of suffering because I didn't know what to believe. I think there came a point where I was living my normal life. There was a lot of suffering. I didn't have any answers. And then the spiritual path kind of presented itself to me. It then made me go down a path where there was even more questions, and I went through even more suffering. But something told me I needed to continue on this journey of self-exploration. And what I once only understood intellectually and thought was only, airy-fairy BS, which is what I first thought it was, actually came to be true, and it brought me a lot of peace and solace in life, and made me appreciate, not made me appreciate, but allowed me to appreciate the simple things day to day, just like things like breathing, being able to move, being able to eat, and life just took on this kind of like mystical shimmer, and it just became, yeah, absolutely amazing. And it made me honor that my life, I didn't want to leave my life anymore. I was happy with what it was, but I know also that it has a limited time period. So that's my kind of,
that's why also it's beautiful. And I think that, like, going back, that was the definition of like being a human. It are these like these really simple things that we think that it's just, you know, so small, but basically that is providing us life, and that is like questioning our. And I also believe that the opportunity in life that basically make us question things, that is the amazing place to be, obviously, because we have to grow into a certain point in ourselves, right, where we're comfortable questioning things, where we're comfortable, you know, absolute transformation. But I think just like this, you're like, oh, but I remember when I had, like, a year ago, when I had COVID, and it really got me. And you know, when you have, like, when you pull a muscle on your back, or when you pull a muscle on your neck, or all those like small things that's, you know, it's just a small thing, but you appreciate those times, and you're like, oh, I'm so glad that I could turn my head, and now I can because my neck is hurting.
Yeah.
Or when you have a blister on the bottom of your foot, those things are like, oh, it's just, we so forget that how comfortable we are actually, like everything is working around us. And when it's just like a little bit of time and you have blister on the bottom of your foot, you're like, I cannot walk properly, it's just so annoyingly uncomfy. And you're like, I appreciate those times from now on when I don't have blister on the bottom of my foot. So like all these things, I think, when you go back to the basics of breathing, I have food on the table, I can like digest food normally, I don't have any, you know, all those like things. That is basically, I think, when we truly go back to the basics and the source and say, yeah, I'm appreciating this whole body and this whole, you know, surrounding, and myself, in a way that I love, you know, being a human being. I don't have to be more, and if I become more in some certain way, it's still, this is all I need and this is all I have, and it's okay, and I'm whole. And I think I saw an affirmation the other day, and they're like, I don't need anything more because I already have everything. I don't need to be fixed because I'm already like everything that I have and I need, and all those things that we basically, I don't need to rush because I'm already there. So all those things that if we think that we need more, but we really, like, we don't, like, at the end of the day, it's just this external influence that is trying to push us into a direction that might not meant for us. It's just I don't know, I always say like a cheese or something, you know, when the dog is
dangling the carrot,
something like, because just because it's in front of him or it's in front of the dog. Yeah, definitely. I think that's basically the whole, like, what does it mean to be a human being? This was a nice circle of going back into just being. Is the human being is what we all need and what we all have, and it's beautifully described by you as well.